All right. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you very much for joining me this evening. My name is Stevie Aquilina, and what I will be sharing with you tonight is some very important, very significant, very special information. And before I tell you what we're talking about this evening, I'm going to tell you the story about how I found out about this very, very, very significant breakthrough that you will hear about. One of my best mates, well, my best mate Dan Doyle, introduced this breakthrough to me this evening. And Dan was a very successful man. He had built up 20 businesses over 20 years and sold them off successfully. And he was doing very well for himself in real estate as well. In Dan's younger days, he was a bodybuilder. As you can see, he's in very good shape there. He was a long distance cycler and a martial artist and a gymnast and a rugby player, football player. He was doing very well for himself physically, and as I said before, financially. Unfortunately, Dan found himself in a situation, though, where he was not just concerned for his health, but that health concern was so problematic that it concerned for his life as well. And every single week he was being put through treatments that were designed to destroy this health concern. But unfortunately, this type of treatment destroys healthy things within the body as well. And it had done that to Dan, unfortunately. It did, for example, it had done damage to his lungs. He was getting this treatment in the hospital. It's the only place you can get them. Once a week for 2 years straight, he was getting this treatment, and it hurt his lungs so bad that he struggled to be able to breathe and talk at the same time. By the end of this treatment, the doctors said, Danny, you're not going to be able to handle too much more of this treatment. You are going to have to just go home now and start to sort yourself out before you run out of time. Dan was very upset by this decision because he'd put a lot of faith into his doctors. Unfortunately, he felt like he'd been extremely let down. But he wasn't ready to quit. And so for the 2 years post this bad news, Dan had made great sacrifice. He gave up all dairy, all eggs, all meat, except for fish, all alcohol, all sugars, all the bad stuff he gave up. He became a pescatarian. This is basically a vegan, and the only animal product that they eat is fish. Other than that, they'd be a vegan. And he was drinking all sorts of super green smoothie juices and chewing on apricot seeds and alkaline diets and alkaline waters. Dan, I tell you, and I was with him during this time, he was living a very strict health practice, and he never stepped out of line. Even if we were out somewhere, he was very, very specific about sticking to his health regime. And for 2 years, he practiced this very healthy, very clean living. And as you can see in this picture, he wasn't looking, nor was he feeling much better. He would say the products that he was using were doing nothing. I would say they were probably doing something and he couldn't notice it, but his doctor wasn't able certainly to read it in his readings. Unfortunately, the life concerning issue that Dan had wasn't going away according to the doctor. It's about 5.5 years ago now that Dan found out about this breakthrough that you're going to learn about this evening. And when he started using it, he started noticing radical changes to his health within just 3 days. Within the first day, he went through a radical detox, which was completely unexpected because he was living a super strict, clean eating, clean living health practice for 2 years prior to that. But his body had dramatically detoxed within its first 12 to 24 hours. By the next day, Dan had an intolerance to caffeine that didn't bother him anymore by the second day of using this breakthrough that you're going to learn about this evening. Just to give you an example, that if Dan had any more than 2 cups of coffee, it'd give him a lot of difficulty in his stomach, which was difficult for Dan because he used to love his coffee, but also used to rely on the caffeine kick to help him have some energy throughout the day because his energy was so shut up by this, condition and treatments that he was going through. But on that second day of using this breakthrough, Dan was able to have 6 cups of coffee, not throughout the day, just in one sitting at breakfast. I know, a crazy amount to drink, but that's what he did. And he didn't have the usual problems in his stomach and buckled over in pain that he would have had if he had any more than two. He was able to triple the amount that he was able to have. And on the third day, Dan was able to go for a run. He went for a run probably for about 100 to 150 meters sprinting. And he was able to catch his breath almost like a normal person. And remember, Dan had had his lungs damaged so badly that he was able to, he was usually unable to catch his breath even while talking. So Dan continued to have results day after day, month after month, even being noted by his doctors on his regular checkups. And considering what his health concern was, they were quite regular. Dan's numbers for the first time ever in 3 years begun to improve and get better and better and better and better. And in after just 12 months to the day of using the technology you're going to learn about this evening, Dan went from looking like this to looking like this. This was a photo taken on the day that he went to the doctor's office and got the best news of all, which was, Dan, I cannot find a concern that you should be worried about anymore. So Dan went from having a life-challenging concern, a health-challenging concern, as I said, a life-challenging concern, and being in a hospital as his second home, to from the doctor being given a full bill of health. And Dan continues to look better and better and better, and also be a champion out there spreading the good word about this technology that you're going to hear about right now around the world. So what I'll be sharing with you this evening is the very technology that Dan used to get his life back, that tens of thousands of people are using around the world now to better, to change, and to get their lives back. Any health challenge that you can think of, any health goal you can think of, users of this technology and their doctors are seeing just remarkable results. They're seeing the health of their patients improve in unprecedented ways. What we're sharing with you tonight is the most significant health science breakthrough of our lifetime, a category-creating breakthrough, a very advanced breakthrough, 10 to 15 years ahead of its time, that for a decade, science had declared was impossible. A breakthrough so impactful on the human condition that global pharmaceutical companies offered to pay millions of dollars for the sole rights to the technology. However, they wanted it shut down. They wanted to take everybody who was using it off it, leaving both reputable medical and business minds very concerned that this may have impeded the actual eventual release of this life-changing technology to the world. But ladies and gentlemen, this breakthrough is what we are going to share with you this evening. Before we tell you what it is, let us tell you what it is not. It is not a drug, thank goodness. It is not a vitamin. It is not a mineral. It is not an antioxidant formula. It is not secret herbs, spices, exotic berries, fancy juices, supersacks, essential oils, magic magnets, alkaline waters, electrolytes, electrolytes, roots from magical 5,000-year-old tree, lotions, potions, gadgets, or any of the other really good stuff out there. What you're going to hear about this evening, I promise you, if you've never seen or heard of it, our company ASEA before, you've probably never seen or heard of anything like this before. What we're going to share with you goes beyond nutrition, goes beyond being even natural, goes beyond mere ingredients, and it can do things that no other product in the world can do. What we're talking about this evening is something called redox signaling molecules. And as you see on this bottle on the screen, ASEA redox cell signaling technology contains active redox molecules. What are they? Well, these molecules are the exact same cellular messages which are made natively within your body, and they affect gene expression in a positive way, helping to protect healthy cells, repair unhealthy cells, and replace damaged cells, and keep your cells functioning at optimal levels. We are all made of cells. We live and die at the cellular level. So the bottom line is you have enough redox molecules in your body, you have healthy cells, healthy life, since that's all we are made up of. Now, with age, Diet, stress, toxins, and all sorts of other environmental insults that we find in our everyday lives, our cells break down. They break down, and our body's ability to make redox molecules declines daily. And as such, our cells break down even more. And with it, of course, since cells are all we're made up of, so does our health, wellness, and our vitality. Now, ASEA takes science very seriously and is highly committed to ongoing research with world-renowned universities and top leading laboratories. So they don't do the studies themselves, they put it into the hands of these very reputable organizations so they can go out proving the potential of redox signaling supplementation. So they can demonstrate the safety and efficacy of the ASEA redox products. And so they can certify them as being safe and effective in everybody. And that is exactly what these very reputable organizations do in their clinical trials upon ASEA. Now, ASEA redox users enjoy cell signaling benefits, which basically translates to health at its most foundational level. Now, ASEA redox, as I just said, has been scientifically tested and shown to signal the activation of genetic pathways or affect genes that improve immune system health, that help maintain a healthy inflammatory response, that help maintain cardiovascular health to support arterial elasticity, to improve gut health and digestive enzyme production, and to modulate hormone balance to support vitality and wellness. Now, additionally, ASEA redox has also been scientifically tested and shown to enhance your body's own production, your body's own efficiency of antioxidants by up to 800%. It's shown to lower oxidative stress and to be 100% safe, non-toxic in every body. Any health challenge, any health goal that you can think of, again, redox users and their doctors are seeing just remarkable results, unprecedented results. Now, we've spoken about cellular health a little bit from the inside out. Let's show you what it looks like when you apply these molecules from the outside in. We have our topical products, which you can see on the screen there. The two on the right are our redox signaling technologies, Renew 28, which is a redox signaling gel, so we can put on topically. And the blue tube is our Renew Advanced Intensive Redox Serum. What's the difference? Well, the drink you drink, the Renew 28 gel is the drink turned into a gel so you can put it onto your skin, and it is twice the concentration of the drink. And this serum, the blue tube, is twice the concentration of the previous product, the Renew 28. So we can also put it onto our skin. We also have a moisturizer and a cleanser on the screen there so that if those who want to focus on skin health can have a full skin regime. But enough talk, because a picture paints 1,000 words. And what you're going to see on your screen here is more than just anti-aging effects. You are going to see age-reversing effects. You're going to see inflammations and irritations and aggravations and other signs of poor health to the skin disappearing, good health returning in sometimes a short period of time. Some people notice results right away. Some take 30 days. Some take 60 days. Some take 90 days, as you can see here. You can see not just the health of the skin returning, but the aftermath of poor health on the skin, the scarring, the indenting, disappearing, being rejuvenated and coming back to the proper levels, proper surface of the skin, as you can see over 5 months here. This is a picture showing results over 7 months, a condition that was obviously very, very inflamed. And, you know, of course, you can see that there's still room for improvement. And this is what I say, that, you know, some people notice results right away, some longer. However, people that use this technology properly and consistently and continuously will see results. Redox signaling molecules, it would be scientifically impossible for them to not work in your body. This is Rosie, and moral of her story is take pictures, because Rosie believed that the technology was not working. Have a look at her results after just 7 weeks. So 84 is when Rosie started using the products. Today she is 87 and continues to look healthier and more well and more vibrant. It's not typically what happens as we age. But Rosie is a good example of how this technology is age reversing technology. This is Dr. Marty Moran. He decided to do a scientific experiment on his very own face and use Renew 28 on only half of his face and not the other. So if you've identified what side that is already, if you haven't, I'll give you some clues. Look at how the glasses are slanting to one side, and lines and indentations and sagging is more prevalent around the cheeks, around the jaw, around the mouth on one side to the other. Can you see it now? If you said that he used it on his right side or on our left side, you would be correct. And I've also validated through Dr. Marty Moran's wife that is the side of the bed that she preferred to sleep on during this experiment, because she really digged that younger dude on the other side. Thanks, Dr. Marty Moran, for doing that experiment for us. Now, it's not just for your face. You can see here inside of a lady's arm, back of a hand, and a belly button. The Renew 28 is also proven to reduce cellulite. Now, not just the appearance of cellulite, but in a clinical trial done by Dermatest, Renew 28 had proven to be able to actually dissolve the subcutaneous fat that was pushing up through the skin and causing the cellulite. Very, very, very interesting product. Now, it's not just for the skin. This is my good friend Sepp Hock, who resides in Queensland in Australia, and he had a condition on the inside. He was using Renew 28 from the outside in, of course. He was using the drink from the inside out as well. And he had the type of condition that is scary, the type of condition that only gets seen once by a doctor, because unfortunately the patient is not only not healthy enough, but typically not around having enough time to make it to the second consultation. And we're very thankful that Sepp found the REDOX technology and some of the other products that ASEA offers, because he believes, and his doctor believes, after seeing what Sepp went through, that this technology was a huge part of holding him together and getting over a condition that unfortunately some others are not so lucky to do. Now, folks, it is a universal truth. It is a historical truth that with every great breakthrough comes great opportunity. The greater the breakthrough, the greater the opportunity. And what we are sharing with you this evening, what the loved one who has invited you to this presentation with you is sharing, is the most significant health science breakthrough, perhaps not just of our lifetime, perhaps of a lifetime, of all time. Now, ASEA is based in Nobel Prize winning research. ASEA is based in, is redox signaling molecules. And if you were to go to pubmed.gov and to type in redox signaling molecules, you would see that there are well over 30,000 results in regards to information and clinical trials and peer-reviewed studies on redox signaling molecules. This is a very difficult slide for me to keep up with, because there's more than 150 studies coming out almost every single month. There are over 1,500 medical textbooks that have been written on redox signaling molecules. It's a very real and prevalent area in science indeed. Now, ASEA is heavily patented. It is without competition. Therefore, because it was without copycats. No one else in the world has what ASEA has. No one. We are totally unique and the only producer of redox signaling molecules outside of the body. Now, ASEA holds massive opportunities, therefore, across all health science sectors: healthcare, healing, wellness, athletic performance, sports science, skincare, beauty, anti-aging, longevity. Now, our mission at ASEA is to better people's lives and to be a force for good in the world. So we want to help a lot of people, and we can't do that on our own. And so we look for people, good-hearted people, good-minded people, to help spread the word about redox. And ASEA gives you the opportunity to earn commissions just by sharing redox with others. How does that work? Well, you receive a residual income, not only from the ongoing purchases made by every single person that you refer to ASEA, but you also receive a residual commission made by the ongoing purchases of every single person that the people you refer and they refer, who they refer, who they refer, and so on and so on and so on. And so just like we recommend a good movie, restaurant, cafe, book, or whatever, people talk. And people tell people who tell more people, who tell even more people, who tell more people again, and so on and so forth. There are no limits. ASEA is an international organization. We are worldwide. We're currently operating in 35 countries, and we're opening up new markets every single year. And based on the existing trends, the annual turnover of this company is projected to exceed $500 million over the next 5 years. However, some are saying that this is very conservative thinking by the company. Well, maybe not conservative thinking, but they're stating it conservatively because they believe that the company has a very good chance of achieving a $1 billion mark company over the next 3 to 5 years. Very possible over the next 5 years. Now, for people who are looking, perhaps now more than ever, right, for a supplementary income, or an extra income, or a part-time income, or a full-time income, or a time-freeing income, or a big-time income, or an opportunity to leave a legacy for their loved ones. For the business-minded, this is a very real and significant opportunity to be paid a residual commission from the gigantic growth of this gigantic global expansion. And let me tell you, folks, although the money you see on your screen is significant, what is most significant here and resonated throughout our company is that there is nothing better than making a living than from bettering people's lives. You get to join forces with others who are also being a force for good in the world. You can, on top of these residual commissions, even be rewarded with all expenses paid trips to 5-star luxury locations around the world and have a really great time with people who become really good friends, more like really good family. It's an opportunity to be able to work with your family too, if some of them choose to join you as well. And these are just some of the many locations that ASEA has afforded us and given us the ability and the privilege of traveling with them to many locations around the world with these great people that you see on your screen. Now, ASEA also has a charitable organization within. It's called the ASEA Advancing Life Foundation, and our mission of our foundation is to break cycles of poverty, break cycles of abuse, break cycles of suffering around the world. And just some of the initiatives that we have been and are still working on in less than a year has been fighting human trafficking internationally, providing clean water in Cambodia, building a vocational center in rural Ecuador, and supporting disaster relief funds around the world. So look, folks, the ASEA redox signaling molecules are so impactful in the human condition that pharmaceutical companies offered to pay millions of dollars for the sole rights to the technology. However, they wanted ASEA to shut down and to take everyone off redox. Thankfully, founder of ASEA, Virtus Norden, said no to the payout and yes to the people already experiencing the greatly needed, the greatly life-changing power of these redox signaling molecules. And as demonstrated in this very first, an important decision, and in every other since, ASEA always puts people and principles before ego and economics. And so for Virtus's great vision and great heart and great principles and great ethics, we say thank you. And as a part of honoring that, we all feel that we're on a very purposeful mission. We have a duty of care, responsibility to inform the world of these redox signaling molecules and get them into the hands of as many people as possible, especially those who need it, at the very least into the hands of those who will love them. And everybody that uses these products properly and consistently, you will love them too and come to learn that you need them. So we thank you for your time and for your attention through this evening. I just want to finish off by also saying that ASEA does not claim to treat or cure any diseases. Only pharmaceutical companies are allowed to make those claims for some reason. So, folks, I want to thank you very much for joining me this evening. Please, please, please get back to the person that's introduced you here this evening. And if you have any questions, get them answered. But the best experience you can get is your own experience. Get these life-changing molecules into you and onto you. Take photos, take records, try them out with a group of people. That's the best thing to do. Not just see it work on you, but get some other people that want to test it with you and watch how it works on each other. See it work on people that you know, and live healthier, younger, and for longer. Thank you very much for having me here this evening. I will be back. Let me just end the recording here. How do I do that?